We're excited about tonight's show. What time's Terry getting here? Still nothing? It's all right, we got time.
Wake up, Dan, I'm here.
Rugby League! Rugby League. Rugby League.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by Zero Fucks Clothing, our great friends at Top Sport and onelittlefootyfan.com.au. Don't forget to go on there and check it out. Dan, we are on the countdown.
Finally, mate, this is the longest off-season of all time, but we're here. What, 3 days to go for that Rugby League goodness.
Oh, I cannot wait for some Rugby League. We got plenty of news.
We do, not all positive either, unfortunately, but what would an NRL off-season be without some negativity?
The big news coming out this week, obviously, is Raiders' new recruit Jamal Fogarty out for 4 months.
Yeah, that's awful. I mean, we like to make fun of pretty much everything, especially the Tigers, but this, no good.
No, look, I mean, you don't like players getting injured, and I've seen Sharks fans online going, it benefits us, but it doesn't really benefit the game, anyone being out for a
Definitely
long
not.
period of time.
Look, it's going to be tough because they bought him to be the last piece of the puzzle to get him back into the 8. So next few weeks going to be very difficult. Got a youngster on debut.
Yeah, Brad Schneider, all the raps on him I've been reading about, incredible.
A very good player, and unfortunately we tend to play really badly when young kids come in and star really good. Charlie Staines, Plummer, Lodemobile. So hopefully it doesn't happen again.
The last time Canberra debuted a halfback against the Sharks, he had 6 try assists on debut and they beat us 40-12. So it's not going to be all smooth sailing down there in the capital.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right. We got this.
It's all good.
We got this.
Sticking with the Raiders, mate. Your best mate, Ricky Stewart.
Yeah, he's not happy about some players serving their suspensions.
Well, if you get suspended, you do the time. I can understand why, though, because for those that haven't heard, Latrell Mitchell will be back a game earlier, so will Brendan Smith. Won't serve any time due to missing the All-Star game, which I think is common sense. But to do it after the game, when Jordan Rapana played the game, won't have that counted towards his suspension.
Yeah, but Jordan Rapana also got suspended in that game.
Yeah, look, but if he doesn't play that game, he doesn't get the extra suspension, is what Ricky Stewart's talking about.
Yeah, look, fair play, I get it, but still, it's funny.
It's hilarious. And at some point, you have to accept responsibility and just whatever. He's not in their best 17 anyways.
Speaking of players, suspensions, brain snaps, geez, TPJ's going to spend a lot of time at the judiciary this year, isn't he?
He wanted to be sent off against the Sharks. I don't understand. Okay, 2 things. First of all, when the referee says, Tavita, stop, and you keep ripping the jersey, not a good look. Secondly, Royce Hunt, of all people.
Yeah, look, I mean, TPJ's got no fear. He would throw a punch at anyone, but if you can't throw a punch, make it count. He had 2 air swings.
He did. Pick on Tioni Katoa on the wing. Don't go after
Well,
Royce Hunt.
He did that. He picked on Tioni Katoa on the wing.
That's true. How he's not suspended for round 1 is way beyond me.
Yeah, look, I think the biggest thing from the TPJ, outside of that, the try. He ran into Nakora and they ran through the hole. And then TPG turns around to the referee and goes, learn the rules, bro.
Yes.
That was the rules. It was black and white.
Learn to tackle.
Yeah.
Learn
to run the line better. He goes, I took his outside shoulder. No, you didn't. You took him out.
It was obvious. We were there. We said, it's not a try. Don't worry about it. And then they gave it and we were like, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
What's going on here? Look, that's the risk you take when you sign these kinds of players.
We called it.
We did call it. He's got a rap sheet. He's not known for his decision making, perhaps.
He come out and said, I've had a cup of coffee with Gus Gould and I've matured. 1 cup of coffee is all it took to make you mature. I don't believe that whatsoever.
It's going to take more than a cup of coffee.
Speaking of people maturing, James Tedesco came out and said that he has matured after his off-season incident where he claimed that he owned up to it after he and the club viciously denied it.
They did. They threatened all sorts of action. Then when it was proven that he did, he said, yep, I copped to this. I've grown. I'm a role model.
Yeah. Yeah, I owned up to it straight away. No, you didn't. You owned up to it a couple of months later.
Game's best fullback no longer.
No, pressure's getting to him.
Certainly is.
Pressure's getting to Teddy. Now, speaking of pressure getting to people, Mal Meninga's come up with an absolute stinker.
Look, I like Mal Meninga. Straight hand on heart. I think he's a great footballer. His political career left a lot to be desired. But He's come out and said that DC is the incumbent, given the Kangaroos haven't played for like 7 years. That's crazy to say. But that he's also leading the way for the number 7 jersey in the end of the year World Cup over a pretty handy halfback.
Yeah, over arguably the best player in the game, in Nathan Cleary. Look, the only thing that I can say there is that he thinks that Nathan Cleary can be at number 6.
Look, yeah, but then what do you do with Cam Munster?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, this is Malmaninger's world. We're just living in it.
That's true. Look, we're trying to justify the unjustifiable. I don't like it. I don't think DC is in the same class level.
No, obviously DC is going to be in the squad, but you know, if you're picking a team that's going to whitewash the World Cup and Nathan Cleary's not in it, like you're just handing New Zealand and England an edge to. You know, they're probably still not going to win anyway.
No.
But it's gonna, you know, you put Nathan Cleary in that team and it's like a non-event.
Look, it's not. It's cheating. Perhaps the World Cup organisers said, "Oh, let's make this interesting." DCE over Cleary.
Yeah.
If they want to make it really interesting, they pick Luke Brooks. Terry,
talk to me, Dan.
We've got a guest.
Another guest.
A special guest.
I love special guests. Who is it?
Former Tigers superstar centre, Chris Lawrence.
He's good enough to join us.
Mate, very nice. Chris, thanks for joining us, mate. What have you been up to since retirement?
Yeah, mate. So finished. Now that I've finished, footy. It's been quite busy actually, and for myself, I was sort of fortunate enough that I'd started planning or at least building a business outside of, or a career outside of sport when I was quite young. It's 10 years ago now that I started One Wellbeing. So, being able to provide a learning support network for athletes and help create and provide freedom for life after sport. So, we're now 11 years now down the track with One Wellbeing, over 1,000 athletes through various accredited and non-accredited education courses. So for me, that's provided a pathway just to roll straight into the business. I only had, I think, it was about a week off from when I wasn't even a week. I was into the office about 4 or 5 days after I finished my last game. But for me, it was something I'd already have done for a number of years. In the off season, I was always jumping in and that sort of break period. Obviously, I'd have some time away and go on holidays and things like that. But there was a 2 or 3, 4 week period in a row where I'd sort of work 5 days, 6 days, and try to do as much as I could in the off season to build that up. And I'm very fortunate enough that it was at a point where I could go into the business full time, and now it's starting to grow more and more. And now 18 months post retirement, and the business is starting to grow. So it's definitely a new challenge, and for me, it's something I'm interested and passionate about. So that side of things has made the transition a lot easier. And now I suppose the biggest thing for me, probably last year, was that I could start to see the business grow, but it was limited in how quickly or what it would do whilst I was still playing football. So then it probably excited me a bit, that the fact that I had retired and I could sink my teeth into a new challenge. I obviously had 15 years of professional rugby league, and whilst I may or may not have been able to go around for an extra year or go over to England or anything like that, I just didn't see it as something as a challenge where I had to start from scratch and really build something. And whilst the business was already up and running and operating quite well and growing, I saw a big opportunity for me to really have a crack, put my head down for 12 months and really try to make something big out of this. So, which is, again, a really good challenge. And, again, 18 months in, and time has actually flown.
Hey, Chris, having played under Tim Sheens, are you confident he's the man that can lead the Tigers back to the finals?
Really good to see Sheensy back in at the Tigers. Obviously himself had quite a great relationship, with Sheensy. He was the one who gave me my opportunity when I was only 17 years of age. Just developed me, taught me everything, skill-wise as a professional player, and I owe a lot of my, I suppose, the 15-year career to obviously the development that he put into me. So the one thing he will do, he will put an emphasis on the junior system, which I think, over the last few years, whether that's been able to produce our own juniors or retain them, there has been obviously an issue there. For a number of years, the West Tigers were a development club. We built our own juniors. We had a big junior base, and we gave opportunities to our young players. And I think not only doing that, but it's as a young kid, you want to believe in that dream that, you're going to get the opportunity if you work hard enough. And when Sheensy was there at the time, I saw a big shift that first year he came in when I was, I think only 14 or 15. And you could see, even in those junior rep sides that there was more emphasis on giving opportunities for young guys to come up and just train with the first grade squad. And you could straight away see that pathway and that there was an opportunity and that, Sheensy wasn't afraid to give young guys a go. So that made you hungry to want to stay there because you knew you were going to get a chance if you worked hard enough. So I think he's going to definitely instill a lot of that in that junior pathway system. And, and obviously having guys, you got, Brett Camorley in there working as a pathways coach, Benji Marshall coming back and doing some work there. So you've got a couple of the smartest footy brains in there at the club. So, if I was a young junior, in 15, 16 years of age, no other club I'd want to be at than at the West Tigers with, those guys. And again, in terms of, is he going to be the difference? Well, obviously there's, a lot of work, in the top squad that needs to be done and those guys will keep chipping away. But I think, if we can go back to building that foundation as that development club, we've got such a big and really talented junior system. That's going to really pave the way for long-term success. And, I know Sheens will be working hard at that. And, obviously imagine the guys in the top squad will continue to grow and learn from what they've been doing over the last couple of years.
Mate, the NRL season kicks off this weekend. Finally. Anything you're looking forward to in particular?
Really just looking forward to having the football back. I think like everyone in the first couple of rounds, looking forward to the new recruits of the different clubs, just how they go. Really interested to see how Sean Johnson goes, back at the Warriors. I think that's going to be really interesting. Adam Reynolds at the Broncos. Some of the big name player transfer, Nico Hines, Matt Burton, all these guys that have been talked about a lot. Obviously, they're going to take a lot of time to deal with their new teams, but in different roles, different positions, and a lot more responsibility now. So, really interested to see how those type of guys at clubs that may or may not have, performed as well over the last couple of years, and just to see what those type of guys can have. And a lot of it's not just even on the field; it's your day-to-day in and around the club, how you prepare, how you train, just the attitude you have. That's where only people who are within the club day-to-day will get to notice that. But hopefully that has, and I think you'll see that will have an impact. Like guys, like Jackson Hastings, the Tigers. There's going to be a lot of benefit. Whether you see that straight away, it is hard for new players to come in, particularly in key positions, to gel straight away. But if you keep seeing that day to day what they're doing behind the scenes, then it definitely eventually sort of turns and pays off, and you see the impact those types of players can make.
Hey Chris, as a former Tigers captain yourself, what was your reaction to the Tigers naming 5 captains?
Well, they did it 5 years ago when I think Ivan's first year. So we had 5 or 6 captains, myself, Benji, Josh Reynolds, Benny Madalino and Elijah Taylor, I think. And Russell Packer. So not Benny Madalino, Russell Packer. So, so we have had that model before. So it was a bit strange at the time when that was the case. I sort of didn't know how that would work. But I think once you play realistically on the field, your halves and your key playmakers, they run the team. You sort of let them guide you around the park. Obviously, if there's any incidents or instances where a captain needs to step in and talk to the ref, you obviously identify someone to be able to do that throughout a game. But so in terms of then how the captains operate, when that was, when in I think 2016 or 17, I think it might have been, that was the case. It didn't really change much, to be honest, over how we run the field. The only probably difference was who's going to do the coin toss. So we all took turns of who the coin toss. But I think I did one game, coin toss did one game, and we got pumped by 50. So I never did one again. I said, no, that's me done.
Mate, how do you think you would have gone under the current bubble circumstances the players find themselves under?
I did the first year of the COVID bubble, so I didn't do the up in Queensland. But having done the 2020 bubble, that was difficult, and it's probably different for different reasons. I think, and again, it'd be hard to comment. I think being up in Queensland would have had disadvantages about being away from home, potentially family. But I think having its advantages in that you're with the team, you're always around, you have a bit more freedoms. I think 2020, the thing I struggled with was, again, particularly knowing it's going to be my last year. A lot of the reasons you can enjoy football is that you get to, celebrate the wins and commiserate the losses. You work so hard, during the week training, but then after games, it was, come off the field, shower and then go straight home and not leave your house. So, for the losses, you tended to dwell on them probably a bit more because you didn't really get to debrief or, commiserate with your teammates. And likewise, the wins, you didn't really get that opportunity to, really celebrate because it was, you very quickly have to get over the game. So you only have a short amount of time to celebrate those wins. So, obviously that sort of made things a bit difficult. In terms of during the week, and not being able to do certain things, there wasn't really that much of an issue because you're heavily focused on games. I suppose the only time that it really was challenging was when you did have, say, a Friday night game and had the weekend off, and whilst we were in a bubble and couldn't go to cafes, restaurants, your family were out. I think I remember it was one particular point. It was Easter, so we couldn't obviously go out and do anything. So, but people with their family could. So I had to drop my wife and my daughter off at my parents' house and family's house for Easter, so and just had to drive by and wait from the car. So just things like that. But obviously knowing it wasn't long term, and you're not always going to miss out on those things. But yeah, as the year went on, and obviously the week to week roller coaster of football, it was definitely weeks when it was hard. And I think hopefully this year there's not as many disruptions. Those guys who have been through a full 2 years, it would have been tough. But I mean, I always used to reflect and look at a team like the Warriors, and particularly those who, obviously from Auckland and have family over there, and think, well, at least I get to sort of see my family every day. So it put things in a bit of perspective for me during that time.
Hey, Chris, where can we find more about One Wellbeing and One Training? So
for more information about One Wellbeing and One Training, just simply go to the websites, which is just One Wellbeing or onetrain.com.au. For now being on 11 or so years of One Wellbeing, as I said, over 1,000 athletes through courses. And it was only sort of 3 years ago now, we really wanted to branch out and utilise the unique delivery and education model, with other cohorts. And we became our own RTO, or registered trainee organisation, to deliver the certificate 3 and 4 in fitness. And from there, we've been able to deliver a lot more other accredited courses through and non-accredited courses through One Training. And over the last 12 months in particular, I've been able to really branch out and help make impact our community by working and doing a lot of programs with disadvantaged job seekers to help find employment. Also working and helping school leavers who have just obviously left school but don't fit within the traditional education system. So for us, it's about trying to create unique online learning tailored to you and trying to empower our community to reach new heights. It's something we're passionate about, learning education, something I've been passionate about and being quite proactive with, but I've seen that traditional education and traditional vocational and uni providers aren't for everyone. And sometimes it's about finding a different way to learn and unique way to learn. And that's what we do. So for us, we really try to cater for those who may not have, may disengage or may not have really fit into that traditional education mold, and to show that it's not, if one way of learning education doesn't suit you, doesn't mean it's not for, that's it for you. There's plenty of other opportunities, and it's just about finding what works for you and trying to help you to reach your heights and achieve your goals. So yeah, pumped to see, our team growing and see some of the impact we're having on some of the lives of all the people and students we get to work with. So it's very fulfilling and get a really good satisfaction out of doing that.
Mate, thanks so much for joining us. Make sure you check out his socials. You find it in the description. It was an absolute pleasure talking to him, actually.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Really appreciate it.
Mate, look, while talking about the Tigers, it pains me a little bit, but in a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to be doing the world's greatest shave with a twist. Look, I don't know how many haircuts I got left. Not many. Not many.
If any.
It's very hurtful. Mate, I'm going to embarrass myself in a different way. I'm going to be wearing Tigers merchandise. Look, for every 100...
Whoa, Dan.
It's for charity.
Okay.
For every $100, again, check the description, the link will be there, that is donated, I'll wear an extra piece of merchandise. Big shout out to my good mates, Big T and Dicko, who have donated Tigers merchandise for the show. Again, check the description, all the details will be there. Look, it's a great cause, you want to embarrass me. Hopefully you want to do both, just get on it.
Let's get those hundreds of dollars in, because I'd love Dan to be here and like just Tigers merchandise everywhere.
No screen caps.
Dan.
Talk to me, Terry.
It's time to talk some black, white and blue.
Fantastic. The main event, it's early this week. Friday night, 6 o'clock. The marquee time slot. Everyone wants it. I can't wait.
Yeah, look, I'm really, really looking forward to it. I've had to psych myself up a little bit. You know, this off-season has dragged. I found myself getting into the basketball a lot. Try to get myself into the Premier League cricket or whatever it's called, the T20 non-event. The Ashes didn't happen. It was 4-1/2. I get it. But yeah, look.
4-0.
Footy's back.
Footy is back.
Footy is back.
And thank heavens it is, because I'm this close to having a no footy aneurysm.
Yeah, now look, it's time, you know, as you said, we're playing the Raiders 6 o'clock on a Friday down in Canberra. Challenging game first up for Craig Fitzgibbon and the Sharks. We're going to name our 1 to 17 what we think Craig Fitzgibbon is going to do. It's not what we want.
No, it's not. Now, a lot of it will be the same, but there are a few changes we'll make, which we'll discuss on the way. Look, by the time this drops, the team should drop within an hour, so spoiler alert.
Let's see how we go.
So, mate, number one, now I've seen some chatter in the groups that I just want to put an end to.
Yeah.
Will Kennedy's number one. And anyone who says otherwise...
Yeah, it's Will Kennedy. He was our player of the year. He's an elite fullback now. He is an elite fullback. He is the number one. And
look, your wingers pick themselves.
Yeah, Ronaldo Mulatalo, Sione Katoa.
Ronaldo looked really good in the centres the other night. Just saying that we may see him.
I don't think he'll. I think he'll start the year on the wing. I don't think he'll finish the year.
No, it's funny you say that. Yeah. Talking of the centres though, Jesse Ramian, of course, takes the spot. And I think he'll be joined by Connor Tracy, Mr. Fix-It.
As I said, starts the year in the centres, doesn't finish the year there.
Now the halves, there's been a lot of chat, but unfortunately the decision's been made because there's no decision to be made.
Yeah, it's Matt Moylan at 6 and Nicho Hynes. Nicho Hynes at 7.
Fantastic. That's a really good halves partnership. Look, we'll see Trindle come back when he's fit. Played really well on the trial the other night.
He did.
But look, the 1 to 7 picks itself. There can be no real arguments. The only potential I see is an Ikavalu being slotted in and Ronaldo at centre, but I don't think it'll happen. The forwards, though.
Yeah, this is contentious.
Look, Toby Rudolph missed the game through, I believe, an ear infection.
Yeah.
Look, a player sort of put himself as a must pick. We've got a couple on the bench that I didn't think he'd be there a couple of months ago. So who's your starting front row, mate?
It is Toby Rudolph and Braden Hamlin-Ueli.
I think he absolutely has to be picked as a run-on forward after his performance the other day. Of course, Brayley will be in the 9. I don't think anyone can really argue that.
Yeah, so that's, the front row. We were expecting Dale Finucane to be in there, but that's how it's going to end. This is just how it's going to start. The back row, I know you and I to and fro on this. Britton Nakora is on one side. Absolutely. You have convinced me that has to be Teague Wilton on the other.
Has to be Teague Wilton, mate. I just think he offers so much, and he looked so good the other night when he came on. Wade Graham's injuries obviously rules him out, and Teague Wilton is the heir apparent. So
the guy who I thought maybe might get a nod on this would be Talakai. He was really good in his opening stint against the Panthers in that trial game. Knocked himself out, a little bit unfortunate there. But you're right, Talakai's best minutes for us have been when he's been the impact person off the bench, not playing big minutes. I think, you're right, Teague Wilton's got to be the man.
Absolutely, and I thought Britton Nakora was one of our best the other day, just quietly. Tipping him for a humongous season. Now look at the bench.
It's a contract year.
It is a contract. Get it done. Sir Fitz, get it done.
Yeah. And lock forward is obviously Dale Finucane.
Dale Finucane goes without saying, geez, he made a difference.
He does. And, people were saying, he got ran over. He didn't miss a tackle.
Yeah, he didn't miss a tackle. He was a ball playing 13, which we haven't had for a long time. I'm very excited about that.
I'm so excited about this guy. It's unbelievable.
Now look, the bench, which we thought picked itself, is up for debate.
Now, look, the bench just comes into play now for us because we've got 3 injuries to people who we thought would be in the team. Wade Graham hurt himself in the trial, unfortunate. Cam McInnes gets the clean out on his knee, and Jack Williams was our best forward last year. They're 3 guys that you thought would be in the 17, so now our bench looks a hell of a lot different than it did before.
Well, it certainly does. One player you mentioned, Talakai, I think is an absolute must pick. He'll be there.
He's absolutely a must pick, and I think the next person after the trial form and his performance in the All-Stars as well as a must pick is Royce Hunt.
Absolutely, Royce Hunt. Geez, he is going to be there or thereabouts in a run-on spot in a few weeks. I'm so excited. He's grown into that tremendously massive body. He's got a good footy mind too, and it was great. He was dragged and he was, thrown punches out by Pango Jr. Next hit up, he just runs in, scores a try, runs over Paul Vaughan, no less.
Next one on the bench for me, it's got to be Andy Fafita.
Andy Fafita, if you'd asked me this time 2 weeks ago, I would have said, probably not. But must pick. He looked really good the other night, and he was very loud as someone who was there.
He was tremendous in the All-Stars game, and he was even bigger against the Bulldogs. And it's not just, I posted this online, it's not just now Andrew Fafita, the footy person, but it's Andrew Fafita, the character and the person in the change rooms. And I think that, he's always going to be there in the top 21. Because that's just the person he is, and he's put himself back in there. I don't know if he plays every week, but he's definitely got to play round one.
He definitely does. Now, the last spot on the bench is one that we were talking about a few minutes before. Look, it was going to be Trindle. Trindle was going to be there. It was it had to be. It's not there through suspension. You got your Pelés, you got your Tolmans, or do you go Luke Metcalf?
Look, if someone said to me the other day that they think that, because Matt Ikevalu was in the 14, that's, his position on the bench, you can't carry a winger.
No, we can't carry a winger.
I think he might be the 18th man.
Yeah, that's understandable.
But I don't think that he will be on there. I honestly think something that you said resonated with me going down to Canberra. I don't really want to have Andrew Fafita, Royce Hunt and Aidan Tolman on the bench, but I think that's what it will be.
Yeah, look, that's what I'm expecting also. Wouldn't shock me if Metcalf is picked. So Fitz is very, very high on him when they haven't let him go to the Warriors, and I believe that's for a reason. Look, it wouldn't shock me though if Pelé gets picked on the back of a wrecking ball performance.
That was a wrecking ball performance. However, I don't think we've seen enough of Franklin Pelé. He really needs to go down to Newtown and have a huge
That's
year.
true. Plus, I think he's suspended just quietly.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan? Yeah, you mentioned it when we were talking about the lineups, but this is a contract year for Britt Nakora, and he looks really good this pre-season. Got linked with the Tigers, came out and squashed that. Shane Flanagan, Buzz has linked Shane Flanagan to Britt Nakora, a man he never coached. Shane Flanagan never coached Britt Nakora.
That is shocking to me. I just assumed that he coached everyone.
Yeah, but he was signed under Flanagan's tutelage there by John Morris. So, it makes sense. The Dragons are trying to buy everyone at the moment. I honestly think that there's money there. For Feeder's huge contract, he ain't going to get that money again. Wade Graham, he's not going to get that money again. There's money there. It's just how much does Fitz want to pay for this guy before he lets him go to the market?
Look, if he keeps playing the way he started the season, I think you get the checkbook out and you sign him before round 3. Look, there's no rush because Nakora's come out and said he wants his future to be at the Sharks. I think that buys us a little bit of loyalty. Mm-hmm. There's a spot there for him too.
Yeah. Now, also the other team, obviously, you have to look at as well that may come sniffing around because he originally was from the Gold Coast. That could be may come in and have a cheeky crack at him.
I hope not. I really want him to re-sign, but we'll see in a couple of weeks, I do suggest.
Dan,
talk to me, Terry.
It's time for some top sport tips.
It is. The real business begins now. Mate, I feel like it's cheating, but we're going to predict the round every single week.
Look, I just want to say for the viewers for last week's tips, if you'd got on the Sydney Kings, I told you to get on them for the line. The line was 9.5, and the Kings got up by 10. Solidarity. I brought it home for the punters.
Easy.
I also told you to take Jalen Adams. Now, this was money for Jam. I thought the line for Jalen Adams would have been about 5.5 for the assist. They put him at 3.5.
Oh, really?
Cleared that.
And he got up
4.
That's fantastic. He smashed it.
He smashed it. He got us home, though. You got the punt home, Dan. You're not looking so good in the cricket.
Now, look, it looks like it's going to be draw, the most boring game of all time.
But that's cricket.
No, that's not cricket.
Anyway, let's
talk football. Who cares?
Yeah,
all those other sports don't matter anymore.
We weren't keeping tally anyway.
Doesn't
Don't worry
matter.
about it, man. We had some fun. Our punters made some money.
We did.
Let's make you some more.
Mate, now we're keeping Natalia. This is super serious stuff.
This is not only our tips, but this is our money as well we're putting on this.
Certainly is.
And what a way to kick off round 1 of the NRL, watching the Panthers up against the Manly Warringah Turbos.
This is going to be great.
This is going to be fantastic.
This is just welcome back rugby league. You could be forgiven for throwing, a game in there because, all games are good games. But this is tremendous. But I don't think it'll be as close as it perhaps looks.
No, I don't think it will either. I did see some people online saying that Penrith shouldn't be opening the season because they are premiers. They should be getting at 4 o'clock on a Sunday. No, it's because they're premiers. They're opening the season. They have the right to open the season.
They do. It's going to be a sellout. I think they've already put the full sign up. Yeah. This is a contest.
Yeah.
I mean, you put Turbo on, it's a ratings bonanza.
Yeah.
Now, Cleary's probably not going to play.
Wow.
Is the news I'm getting, which in an hour or so's time, probably going to be wrong, but that's okay. And for that reason alone, I'm still sticking with Penrith.
They looked really ordinary without him.
They look terrible, disgusting. They lost to Parramatta.
Yeah, look, well, this is a hedge of the bet for me then because I'm going to go Cleary plays, I'm going Penrith, but if he does, I mean, you can't change your tip, but I mean, I will because we'll know what the lineup is, but if he's not playing, I think Manly will get him.
Penrith 1-12.
I'll take Penrith on this, but man,
this is good.
A bombshell.
This is going to be so good.
Yeah.
I wish it was Thursday.
Yeah. Look, we already told you the main
game of the
event.
round. Main event.
Main event. Well, it's not the game of the round. It's the main event. The Raiders are playing the Sharks 6 o'clock on Friday in Canberra. We're going to see the new era under Craig Fitzgibbon.
That's it.
Ricky Stewart's new look team with his rookie halfback debutising. A couple of people missing. All points for mine. Like the Sharks they've come out and done everything right.
They have come out. So Fitz, has just had the best off-season of all time. Nico Hines is running so hot. Dale Finucane looks like he's 23 again, but it's round 1, so I'm tipping Canberra.
I want to take the Sharks.
Fair enough.
Fair play. Friday night. Now this is it could have been a sensational game. Is Adam Reynolds going to play? Is he not? Some mind games coming. Does he have COVID? Does he not? Does he just not want to play footy for the Broncos? I don't know. Either way, give me the Bunnies.
Yeah, give me the Bunnies.
Yeah.
13 plus. They're going to go ballistic. Big win. I hope Reynolds plays though. I really want to see that clash. And that's the only reason this is a Friday night game because it's going to be a blowout.
Saturday, 3 o'clock.
Main event?
No. Roosters and the Knights. Look, I'm glad that Connor Watson's coming up against the Knights early. There's all this stuff now about him playing Origin. No, let's just get on with it. Roosters buy as many as they want.
Roosters 13 plus. This team...
Yeah.
They're very good.
This team against that Knights team, it's going to be a blowout.
Not fair.
No, speaking of not fair, having to watch this game at 5:30, it's the Warriors versus the Dragons.
Yeah. Geez, they went all out early on this, didn't they? 3 superstar games, or 2.5. Two games to start, and then it's just all downhill from there. But it's rugby league, and I do love rugby league. Warriors for mine, mate. I don't think the Dragons are going to have a very good season.
No, I don't think they will either, but I'm going to take the Dragons in this game. I think they're going to be able to ride a little bit of that wave from being the Charity Shield premiers.
That's
and
right.
Also they are the March premiers.
Look, that's a good point. I didn't take that into consideration. As you said, they can't change your tip. It's out there now. Warriors 1-12, it'll be close.
Yeah.
Sean Johnson, maybe he does something magic.
Probably does his hamstring. And then Saturday night, look, the Tigers are just they're walking into a storm.
They are, mate. And the Storm haven't lost a round 1 game for about 103 years, and I think they can make it 104.
Yeah, look, they're going to absolutely destroy the
Storm
Tigers.
13 plus?
30 plus.
30 plus. You can go that far. I think the Tigers are going to go in with some momentum on the back of whatever they did in the preseason.
They got flogged by 50 by Manly.
Well, 30 plus.
Saturday afternoon, we have a really good game, the Eels and the Titans. This game is up in Queensland. I picked the Titans. It's at whatever bank is sponsoring its stadium. I'm going to go the Eels.
Yeah, me too. I think Mitch Moses, man of the match, lock it in. It's going to be very, very good. These forward packs, though.
Yeah. It's going to be absolutely incredible. I can't wait to watch David Fifita play footy.
Yeah, it's going to be good. If he'll start too, I think. I think the time of bringing him off the bench is well and truly over.
And speaking of well and truly over, my God, if anyone can sit through this game... The Cowboys playing the Bulldogs. If you can't sleep, watch this game.
I think this is the one, isn't it? Sunday night.
Yeah. Look, I don't want to tip the Bulldogs, but I don't want to tip Chad Townsend either. So
it's going to be tough. Look, I'm going to go the Doggies.
I'm going to go the Dogs.
I think they start this new era on a positive note.
Yeah. How many sin bins for Tavita Pengai Jr.?
One.
One?
And I think there'll be one for Tamalolo too. Think there'll be a clash early on, a bit of the left and the rights.
I tell you, I think he's going to have a really big game in this. Paul Vaughan. He was really timid in the trials, but I think he's going to lead. I think he's going to lead.
I think there's a bit of guilt there because of the barbecue thing.
Yeah, I think he'll come out for a big game in this. He'll lead the Dogs. He'll be my man of the match in this.
Yeah, look, fair enough. I completely disagree.
Good. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by Punctured Media, Zero Fucks Clothing, our good friend at Top Sports, and onelittlefootyfan.com.au. Don't forget to jump online, have a look at all the websites, like and subscribe, get involved, hammer me and Dan. We absolutely love it. Footy season's coming up.
Can I say the line?
Not yet. Coming up for a big year on Top Sports. We're absolutely wanting to make you some money, so make sure you watch, check us out. And Dan.
Rugby League, baby!